And it gives a snapshot of the bird population in North America. And actually they do it over Canada and some of South America too. So the thing about it is birds don't actually move unless they're migrating. They're going to stay in their own little patch of woods. So taking a snapshot, and they go from December 15th till January 5th. Each of these circles, you're assigned a circle, and you go out and you count the birds you see. And so we've been doing this here in Fredericksburg almost 20 years now. And so we go to the same spots every year, and we look and we listen and we record. But like last year, we found over on the reservoir in Spotsylvania, we found this gigantic raft of ducks that we had never found before, because you have to go in people's yards. So we did. I was knocking on doors and saying, would you mind if I go in your backyard so we can count the ducks? And we did, and we found thousands of ducks, which was just unusual.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not unusual to find ducks, but it's unusual for us in our count because we had never gone to that area. So, but we'll count everything we see, crows, eagles, hawks and things overhead, and then grassland birds that are being in the grass, and then cardinals and perching birds, those kind of things. So, and we can hear them. There's a really cool app, Ted. It's called it's from Cornell University.
Yeah.
It's called the Merlin Bird app, and it has the sound ID. Now there's no birds right now, but if there was, you just play it and it will tell you what you're hearing.
How cool is that?
It's very cool. Artificial intelligence isn't all bad,
Yeah.
So when we went birding down in North Carolina this summer, we heard oven birds are always way up in the top of the trees. You never see them, but we heard them with the app. Because I'm not that good. I'm not that great of a birder.
So how long will you be out?
We start
this?
at 7:30 at dawn, and we'll go till about 4, depending on the weather. I don't know if it's foggy and rainy. We're not going to see a lot of birds, and we might get through it faster. But like with the ducks, I mean, we were like out all day. And we don't actually, what had happened was we had given Mott's Run to a group from Friends of the Rappahannock, but they've not been able to do it the last couple of years. So this one young man that works with us, Henry's going to go over there and maybe hit Mott's Run for a couple, 3 hours.
You've talked to me before about so much can be learned about the bird population and what's happening in an area based on birds.
Well, we've lost 3 billion birds in the last 50 years. That's 25% of the bird population in the United States. And so what that's saying is there's habitat loss, there's effects from global climate change, there's a lot of things that are impacting birds. A lot of more pesticide use. You have in the Midwest, or even here, you just see you see corn or soybeans. That's all you see.
Yeah.
And they've even taken down the hedgerows now, and they go corner to corner. They don't leave anything for the birds. So that's impacting birds. And so that's impacting us too, because it's a canary in the coal mine for us to pay attention to what's happening. And like chickadees, we're seeing chickadees decline almost every place. Well, why is that? Because one is that it's habitat loss, but also chickadees feed their young exclusively on caterpillars when they're raising them. So you have to have a lot of caterpillars. One chickadee nest, 5,000 to 7,000 caterpillars just to raise those 5 little baby chicks. Well, if you don't have caterpillars, you don't have baby chickadees. And in order to have caterpillars, you need oak trees. Because people think of caterpillars as coming from butterflies, but most caterpillars come from moths, and most moths come from oak trees. So there's a ton of moths that inhabit oak trees. So if you don't have oak trees, so people plant. When I give away trees, I want to give away oak trees.
I was just going to say.
People will say, "I like a little tree," and it's like, why? Why do you want a little tree? Because they think that big tree is going to be a danger to their house, and so there's just that misconception of trees in general and what they do for us. So that's all tied together.
I was going to say everything is tied together, whether it's trees or insects, and then it affects birds, and it really is tied together.
Right. So if you take a look at my yard, you see it's pretty messy out there, and normally because of the rain, we're not seeing birds out there. But there's hundreds of birds out there scratching around, and so you see that all the old stalks of the flowers are sticking up there. But by the end of the winter, they're going to be all shredded, as are the leaves. I never pick up any leaves in my yard.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to, because the birds shred them up because they're looking for insects in there.
And you're helping them.
Yes.
So
that's why they come.
it's just so interesting that you do this count, and this count takes place, and you don't hear a lot about it, but boy, it is important.
Well, there's thousands and thousands of people that do this across the United States. So in the birding community, it's just kind of known. Mm-hmm. Then there's a thing called a backyard bird count that's done over President's Day in February, so that you can count the birds at your bird feeder. So people will do that too. All of the data that they take, Cornell and the Audubon Society, goes into a bigger database, so they start understanding trends. They understand, there's also, we talked about the hawk watch that's done every year, that all the hawks coming from the northern part of the Arctic Circle come down, because when they go up to the Arctic, they're hunting mice and all that type of thing. And then as they're coming down, they're counted. And so we get an idea of what is the trends, what are the counts, what are the general ideas of them.
It's interesting that the birds migrate, and we oftentimes don't see it, but it happens.
most passerines, which are the little birds, they migrate at night. So you can actually go on the internet and say, show me migratory bird patterns at night, and you'll see clouds of birds flying. Okay. And they fly together for safety's sake. The hawks and that type of thing, they fly during the day because they're not going to be predated. But the passerines, they're going to be wanting to be with big flocks of birds in order to be safe.